Well, I thought I'd get round to recording another story for you, and this one, it might be a bit different to some of the tales I've been telling, certainly a bit shorter and different in style. With all this time that we've all suddenly got on our hands, I don't know if you're like me, I've been thinking a lot on the past and sort of reminiscing, and I was just thinking about the 12 years that I spent in the workhouse. 12 quite happy years, many of them. And much of that time with my good friend Colin. Hiya, Col, if you're watching this. And thinking on the time that we spent with some of the characters there, Mr. Grimm, the workhouse master, the school teacher, Mr. Bircham, some of the inmates, Dawdle and Luckless. We had all sorts of people that you might meet there in the workhouse. And a lot of the time we were exploring the food that you could get there. Quite different to what a lot of people think about the Victorian workhouse. None of kind of the Oliver Twist, please sir, may I have some more. Rather, it was the opposite. You got too much food. It was stodgy and rather bland food. Potatoes, bread, pea soup. And as you probably know, in workhouses, men, women, boys and girls, they were all split up, so families would be separated and wouldn't see each other. But sometimes some friendships could start up there in the workhouse, and such as it was with Billy Lovell and Jamie Bride. And they got to know each other in the workhouse. They sat together in the schoolroom. They would have their exercise walking round and round the exercise yard together. They would pick oakum together, and they would sit together when it came to meal times. Not that they could have much of a conversation, because that was certainly frowned upon by the workhouse master. But here was Jamie Bride and Billy Lovell sitting there one Wednesday eating their pea soup, and Jamie says, "Oh, I'm sick of this. There's got to be something better we can eat. The workhouse master and mistress, they don't eat the same as us. I'm going to get off and see if I can't find something better." And so off he went. And so, Billy was just worried what's going to happen to his friend. He couldn't just wander off and just do that. He's surely going to get in trouble. And it got even worse when Jamie didn't come back that mealtime. He didn't come to the schoolroom that afternoon. And then when it came to the evening meal, he wasn't there either. And they looked for him everywhere. They looked in the schoolroom, they looked in the dormitory, they looked up in the attic space, they looked in the workhouse hospital there. They couldn't find him. And poor Billy Lovell, all he was thinking about was his friend. And just where would he be? He was going to get in real trouble now. And I just kept thinking about poor Jamie Bride, and he was in a terrible stew. But they looked and they couldn't find him the next day. The search continued. They even looked in the itch ward. They looked in the place where you'd be put in a solitary room if you'd misbehaved and so on. And he didn't show up. And what was worse, the meals, they seemed to get better. When it came to the broth, Billy was eating the broth and he thought, oh, poor Jamie would have loved this. It's much better than before. It's full of body. And they kept looking and looking. And then a few days later, it came to the time when it was just due to clean out the soup coppers in the workhouse kitchen, a job that got done once a month. And what should Miss Mutton find at the bottom of the soup copper but a boy's waistcoat and comb?